Hi, we're back again talking about artificial intelligence with Maya Giorbelidze from the Shannon School of Business. Hi, Maya.
Hi, good morning.
So you've had a bit of time of late to work with artificial intelligence. It's a topic on everyone's lips, I think, in academia and around the world. Maybe you could tell me what first brought you to your first experience with artificial intelligence.
Thank you so much. So artificial intelligence has been part of our lives in the last 2 years, and it's becoming more and more integrated. We see it in our phones, we see it in our homes, everywhere. But in the academic settings, the first time my interaction was it was around January 2023. When one day I was scoring my papers, I opened the Turnitin and then it shows AI. What is the percentage of the paper that has been generated by AI? I was like, that's something new, because when we started the semester, this sign was not there. And that's when I started exploring what does it mean and what does generative AI mean. I was always tech savvy, meaning I loved looking some new technologies. So I looked what are the options, and ChatGPT was that time very recently launched, and I started familiarizing myself without knowing what are ethical issues, what's kind of learning by doing and testing. That's how I first got into it.
So your first experience was with, I guess, one of the scenarios that a lot of professors and academics have been talking about, where students were using it for academic issues.
I think that time it was introduced without us being aware about it. So there was something new that students also found, oh, that's magic. I can insert something and then it gives me perfect response. Perfect meaning for that specific time. And simplifies my tasks. I can do it instead of spending 5 hours. I do my assignments in 1 hour maybe maximum. So that was when they started experimenting as well. I think very unconsciously though. And looking the journey now, even the students and also my own journey as well, I can feel how much we evolved, how much we learned, those who are open to test and learn with AI, how much we learned how to work with AI and how to use it to support us. And I think I'm still very at the bottom. There is much more to go. And I always tell everyone wherever I speak with AI that I am not a software engineer. I don't have any strong technical or IT background, but I'm an early adopter. So I've been testing different tools and trying to integrating as I can into my teaching and learning to show, and I am a strong believer that we need to teach the students how to work with AI as one of those skills they will need at the job market.
So that's one of the things that gets talked about with the technology, I guess any technology when it gets introduced, is that the technology, once implemented, is not going away, and it becomes part of our lives and the employable skill set that we have. So you think it's important that students have an introduction to this in the right way, or a positive way, because it's what they're going to be facing in the workforce. How would you describe the trajectory of that so far? I guess by your measure, we're probably 2 years or so into artificial intelligence. What have you seen happen in the last 2 years in terms of improvement, adoption, change? What's been the biggest effect so far that it's had on academic life?
As I said, we need to learn how to work with that. However, when they first started introducing Microsoft Office programs, and rather than writing the paper by hand, then we had to type and learn how to add the citations properly, how to format the document properly, how to bold something. So those basic literacy, computer literacy skills were essential and became part of the job requirements as we progressed and as it was adopted. With the AI, I think there was the first usual reaction is we are scared of it because, and that's one of the change management processes, that because people are scared of the change, they are scared of the change because one of the reasons is lack of awareness about it. So as we start building the awareness of our own selves and the students as well and the faculty, staff, and people around us, that way we reduce the resistance level and then we kind of build on the skills and enhance and make it even better. Having said that, I don't think like we've done enough yet. There is a lot more to do, and particularly depending on which level of students we are talking about. When you are going into the classroom with fresh high school graduates, they don't have that level of critical thinking skills yet, as you would see in your graduate level courses. So the way how you introduce AI in that classroom differs how you would introduce AI in your graduate level courses. Therefore, I think that one size does not fit to all. So we need to be aware of those differences and having that in mind, depending what type of course we are designing. And so that we still support these critical thinking development skills within the students, but also gradually making them comfortable to work with AI, because that's something inevitable that we need to learn how to work with AI. And so that's important. And the difference is very significant, the way how you approach undergraduate and graduate level courses. And the dose of introduction might completely differ as well. Having said that, I, as a faculty member, have found AI super helpful for myself, particularly as now through CBU, we have access to Microsoft Copilot, which is as safe as CBU's email address or CBU's OneDrive. Anything I upload in Copilot stays within that CBU's ecosystem. Therefore, for course preparations, I've done revising the course outlines, getting the course calendars, developing the lessons plan. Obviously, it's a raw material, and I make it enhanced, make it adjusted, but it's a first thought process is already done, and then you make it through iterative ways, make it better. And as long as you have a strong vision, what you want to get out of it, what the final product looks like, that way AI helps you reach it, but it won't do the work for you. So it's pretty much you having someone, like when you get the document from your staff members, you are commenting on it, and then the staff member takes it, makes it better. It's the same way how you treat as an assistant that kind of help with your vision and the comments, make it better and better.
I like the observation that AI is not a one-size-fits-all solution. So how a graduate student might be able to use it as a tool is different than someone who's in their the first semester of university. There has been some concern, maybe a lot of concern, but in some fields about it sort of dulling the knife a little bit. The students' cognitive development is impeded if they rely on these tools too much. Do you have any kind of observation on that, or anything to comment on someone who has those kinds of concerns?
Like, for instance, very recently, Oxford University opened chatgpt.edu to everyone and made it as inclusive as possible for the students and the whole faculty to access it. And Oxford is like one of those oldest universities in the world, so they've been using it. Very soon, CBU's all the students will have access to Copilot too. But we don't. My observation is that we have an assumption that students know how to use it properly, but it's not like that. Some of them do, but there is also a portion of students who are just using it without consciously being aware of it. Like, this was my first semester of students, and I teach the graduate level courses now, and I had multiple requests in different sections from the students asking, Professor, can you please show us how do you engage in the conversation with AI? And I opened one of the AI tools and showed them, this is what my conversation looks like with them, and how to do proper prompt engineering, and what's important, what's ethical issues. So that's something that we need to educate our students, or if we are using as faculty the tool, we need to show them how we use that, so that also builds their capacity. As for the cognitive skills, that's why I think this introduction dosage differs on undergraduate and graduate level. And undergraduate level, where they are still picking up all the necessary skills that university education gives you, I think the dosage differs and the structure of AI differs. But in the graduate level courses where I have students with 10 years of work experience, they've already done they're part of the learning of the critical thinking skills. Yes, we are enhancing it, but I can use AI to even enhance critical thinking skills. So I don't have a straightforward response on seeing the results, but it definitely increases the efficiency of the students if used properly.
Yeah.
Because one of the tools that, it's not Copilot, but there are other AI tools that help students with certain disabilities or different learning styles to digest the content better. So, like, for instance, if there is a case which you have challenges understanding it through reading, you can easily convert that case into the podcast or in the audio or the video file, or give you the flashcards from it. And that way, your learning significantly enhances. But we need to teach them this, right? There are only a couple of students who are motivated enough to go and explore by themselves. The others are just going with the flow. So being aware that this flow does not always go in a right direction, and we can steer the wheel the way we think makes more sense, is more ethical, and helps them have AI as a supporter and not a substituter. That way we can enhance it. The learning experience, make it even better.
So you mentioned other tools that you've had the ability to work with outside of Copilot. Do you have any favorite software tools, AI models that you've sort of had some experience with and you can maybe pass along?
So my Perplexity is really good one for me, particularly when I'm searching some, I like presenting videos to the classroom or giving the students different ways of getting the same knowledge. So like finding YouTube videos, for instance, or the podcasts that are exactly to the topic takes a lot of time from my side. So in Perplexity now, even the free version gives me the possibility, if I describe exactly what I need, what type of information I'm seeking in the video, it gives me much tailored search options. So instead of going through 100 videos, then I go to the 10 videos and make it select the best. I can indicate the time the length and duration of the video, the speaker, everything, and then it helps me refine my search process, for instance. That's one of them. And now Perplexity has this Comet. I'm not sure if you tested it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of your AI personal assistant. We have to be careful there with the data access. So we need to read what we are giving it access to in our computer, but it's also kind of your own personal assistant. I use Copilot, but my favorite is still ChatGPT. But I use the paid version, and I always say that it's one of the best investments I've made because it helps me enhance efficiency of my work. I don't upload any sensitive materials. If I sanitize the data, obviously, but with that ethical consciousness, it's still super helpful tool for me.
So you brought up the potential to have ethical concerns. Maybe you could elaborate on that. I know that for those that are not, cheerleaders for AI, that's one of the big issues that they point to is these ethical concerns, copyright concerns, ownership of information and data. Maybe you could address that and how you deal with it?
many times we upload something into AI model and we don't even think where the data goes to. And many of those data servers are, they use this data, that whatever we input, to train other data sets, unless you consciously change the toggle and ask AI not to train data based on your information. That's one of the ways that I control to what extent I can access, AI can use my data. However, unfortunately, many of the community workers that I worked in Cape Breton, they unconsciously upload many of their reports, their files, without acknowledging that this is just stored somewhere else. So it's not someone else can go and get the same data kind of through specific keyword or prompt searching. So we have to be very careful. But that comes with a lot of awareness building. There is another research that AI is also influencing the environment, obviously, because many of those data centers are using a lot of electricity power, and particularly when we are looking from this Cape Breton perspective from the rural community, this access to electricity is already an issue. So this is something that we have to be consciously aware. So once I started looking into, I started avoiding the words like please and thank you with the AI conversation. So that way I try to at least reduce some of those footprints. And the other research that I was looking into is that there is a piece of work going on whether AI will increase the digital divide or decrease the digital divide between rural communities and the communities who already have access to many other technologies. So that's something that we need to be aware of, particularly in Cape Breton and in Unimagi, having this indigenous population groups, to what extent we are really using this AI, like indigenous data governance aspects when we even bring AI tools to CBU. And I know that our IT department has been working to have these privacy impact assessments before testing or giving any tools to students. So that's, I think, one ways ahead of looking which tools do we introduce to the classroom, and knowing that that has been already kind of vetted through the IT department, that also gives you peace of mind.
Mm-hmm. So the institution is taking a cautious approach, given the potential for some of these privacy issues. But you also mentioned that there's a toggle is it ChatGPT?
ChatGPT has a toggle, and I've seen in other ones too. It can use so you pretty much, do you want your data to be used to train the data sets or not? So you can make it yes or no, depending. On the one side, it's an ethical issue. However, on the other side, these AI models become better and better as we train them. So we need, depending what's your preference, what's your thinking process, we might sometimes say yes, maybe so to even have a better model out there, or then you can say no, whether there's a privacy issue or not.
Yeah. You mentioned a number of social issues as well. Conservation of energy, access to rural communities, the potential for a digital divide. On the proactive side, one of the arguments is that we should be partaking in the use of AI because it's going to become has become best practice. It is how it is a tool that the workplace is going to be adopting. So in that light, are there any particular benefits that you've seen happen so far, or any changes in other organizations and how they've been working and using AI outside of the university campus?
You mean in Cape Breton, or
anyone that you work with a few groups?
Yes.
Outside of the university.
I've seen many of the local nonprofits using AI. Some of them very consciously and being aware of the ethical issues, or what you input into the AI, because one of the rules is garbage in, garbage out, meaning whatever. Unless you know properly how to work with that, you still get garbage as a product at the end. So I've seen them using. The others are scared. The other day I was at the mall, and at the checkout, I've heard a couple people talking with each other. They're like, "Oh, now AI is gonna come and all of us will lose the jobs." So those are the notions where you see many times, particularly in the communities where there has like the aging population share is higher. But I do believe that CBU has a crucial role on being as one of the like community drivers in Cape Breton, having the space or the share the knowledge, how to work with AI, how to use AI to increase the organization's proficiency, particularly for the nonprofits where their resources are very limited. Some of those AI tools, if used properly, can help them measure their impact better or tell their stories better. But we need to first build the awareness and knowledge and capacity around it.
Is there anything that you would like to see the university do or implement moving forward in order to take us down this AI road a little more, a little quicker, or with a little more efficacy?
I know university, I was part of some discussion groups that we had at the university where a university is working on a university level AI framework or strategy, which will be kind of the guiding principles, how we faculty or staff or students can use AI. CTL is also introducing some AI use guidelines for us as the faculty, so that has been very helpful. The only thing is that AI is evolving so much that whatever we do today, tomorrow it might already be outdated. So having that constant, being aware of that pulse or being able to measure pulse every day and having that quicker pace is important. But I think, and plus the context in which CBU operates is completely different than, for instance, some other Dalhousie or some other bigger universities in bigger cities. So we need to be much more aware as a university what we are introducing to our community and also the faculty and students. But I think CBU has been taking some steps towards it. But we also need to take responsibilities as the faculty to being more aware to better support the students in that.
And that's a good point. The technology, as most technologies have been adopted, we went from written books to radio to television. Education was going to change completely when we introduced computers and then the internet. For the most part, it actually, given even the technical change that has happened over the last number of decades, we still approach education mostly in the same way. But these changes happen faster and faster every time they're introduced. As you've said, they happen rapidly and almost daily. I think when I've turned on one of my applications, it's like, oh, this is working a little bit differently today. So something has changed. It's gotten a little better or it's operating a little bit differently. Is there anything you can suggest that at the professor level, the teacher level, what can they do in order to keep on top of the technology? Or are there any best practices that you could maybe suggest for the individual professor?
That's a challenging one. What I found helpful, even though all of us have super busy schedules, dedicating some time for building my own awareness or knowledge, or at least reading some AI newsletter, understanding what's on the market, that has been super helpful for me. At least like 1 hour per week to sit and read about it, because these universities are evolving as well. As I said, Oxford recently introduced its Chat GPT Edu for everyone. Like many other universities are introducing their new guidelines. So if you subscribe to some of those newsletters, you receive the updates. So reviewing those updates helps me stay up to date. Having said that, the conversation, sometimes I think that I'm aware, but then I talk to my other colleagues who are also early adopters and they're like, oh, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And they're like, oh, no. So sharing this with the same-minded people is also important because we learn a lot just by purely sharing with each other. Oh, have you tested this tool? I use this in my classroom. So this sharing helped me a lot in that case. And just openness and willingness to test new tools. And I understand that many of us are so busy with daily routines, there is not much space for innovation or new tool building or introducing some new tools, even in the classroom or within our workspace. But at least willingness helps us get there quicker, and students benefit from it at the end too.
I guess that's good advice. I've sort of found that myself where I guess you get in a bit of a pattern, especially with the tools you use and the software that you use. You get in a pattern of usage and you're happy with that, and you're not aware that there's something else that's out there that might improve your efficiency. Not that it's all about efficiency. Sometimes it's about quality as well, efficiency and quality. But if you don't take the time to invest that little bit of extra effort in learning the new tool, well, it could improve your efficiency and improve the quality of what you're doing. You sort of stay stuck in a rut and aren't aware that, for the sake of half an hour learning, you could be saving a half an hour a week for the rest of your life for the sake of adopting a new tool. And the peer sharing, as you've mentioned, that's a good starting point. People like to talk, they like to share, so that's good. This has been a great conversation, and I'm going to check back hopefully with you, and you can tell me what your latest project is you're working with AI with.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for the conversation.